I'd like to call the November 18th, 2024 Diamond Head Country Club Property Owners Board meeting to order, please. Roll call, please.
President Sisla,
Present.
Vice President Giarrusso,
Present.
Treasurer Blackwood,
Present.
Secretary Damians, present. Director LaFontaine,
Present.
Director Lee,
He's not here.
Director Nutting,
Here.
Director Pino,
Present.
Director Strohmeyer,
Present.
Director Tubbs.
He's not here either.
Okay. Ex officio Becker,
Present.
we have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Madam Secretary, can you please describe approval of the minutes?
Approval of minutes, October 21st, 2024. Minutes were approved by email vote completed on October 26th, 2024.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please, to approve the meeting agenda?
I'll make that.
Thank you, Ms. Director. Okay, thank you. Are there any comments? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? You okay?
No, I'm not opposed.
Okay, thank you. The motion passed.
Just slow.
Good evening. The President's report. I want to report that the board has spent the end of October finalizing the budget, which was approved in the executive session held after the October board meeting. We needed the privacy of an executive session to discuss salary details and appreciate understanding of the fact that we had to take that action in executive session. We did decide to increase the dues based on the threat of taxes by the Hancock County assessor, among some of the other things that we're looking at. The issue of Property Owners Association losing its tax-exempt status is still being discussed with legal counsel and among board members. We hope to try to plan the opportunity for the county assessor to come to Diamond Head to explain his thinking in an open meeting. We need a little time to get that organized and do it right, so that will be forthcoming. The possible change in tax status seems to have been triggered by the recent court ruling, and I don't know if I reported before, but despite our best efforts to explain our position, the request for a change in that ruling regarding the bylaws was rejected. The board must now decide if our position is worth seeking final judgment by the Supreme Court of Mississippi. The court system in Mississippi has several methods for hearing claims like ours, and there's no guarantee of success. These are hard decisions to make when they involve legal details and spending the association's valuable dollars. But often, something worth fighting for is hard work. So we've engaged the services of Deutsch Kerrigan, a firm based in New Orleans, with representation on the Gulf Coast by Mr. Rick Tubertini, and he's had a long history of serving the POA. We're not done yet in finding a way to resolve our difficulties of having the funding to maintain all the amenities for which we're responsible. And that brings me to some comments I've heard that people are saying, what are these amenities? What is it that I'm paying for and that you keep talking about? So let me list them for you. We have an open-air fenced RV and boat storage area that must be maintained. We have a 3,500-foot-long airport runway, maintenance of airport grounds to keep maintained. We have a marina, including docks, ship store, and the camp house, which was formerly known as the Yacht Club. We're responsible for that building. The community center, building, grounds, and parking lot we must maintain. The East Rec pool, deck area, playground, tennis and pickleball courts with associated pro shop and offices and ball fields are ours to maintain. The North Rec pool, the pool deck, picnic tables, and playground are our responsibility. The Twin Lakes Pavilion, Frisbee golf, grounds, walking trails, and the lakes are our responsibility. The Holiday Village pools and grounds are our responsibility. The main pool, splash pad, pool deck, walking trail, pickleball, and tennis courts are our responsibility. The club, restaurants, patio, outdoor spaces are also our responsibility. 2 11-hole golf courses, pro shop, practice range, education facility, cart barn is our responsibility. A maintenance garage with all its equipment is our responsibility. And the POA administration offices are our responsibility. And think about it, all that for $62 a month. Please ask your friends in other golf communities and other planned subdivision what all they are provided and what they pay to maintain their lifestyle. We have an amazing place that we need to maintain. Thank you. Let's go with committee reports. Mr. Penow, do you have a report?
I do not.
Thank you. Mr. LaFontaine?
Yes, ma'am, I do. The House Committee met on Thursday, November 7th. The committee reviewed the financial performance and plan to reduce expenses throughout the food and beverage area. That was discussed in detail by all present. The card room setup is now required to pay a fee for special arrangements. If you've got food and beverage and linens, there will be a small service charge to maintain that. The chef reviewed the new Latitude 30 menu that will be reduced and also will roll out 1st of January. Catering business continues to increase, and we have a family day at the club that is planned for early spring. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Strohmeyer?
I do not have a report.
Thank you. Mr. Doctor, sorry, Nutting?
The Rec Committee met on November the 5th, and I'm speaking for Michael Tubbs, who's doing a marvelous job. We have a wonderful group of people on the committee, very active and insightful. A few little things. Diane got some Coke machines for all 4 pools at no cost. We're going to get a cut of the sales. The committee agreed to remove the signs at the pool stating no drinks, and they'll be replaced with just no glass there. The other thing we did, we're going to look into the current organizational chart for Rec. There might be a few little responsibilities that appear to be orphaned, but we'll get that done. The other thing that we came up with was to reconfigure the tennis courts that are near the main pool, get rid of the tennis court and get 2 new pickleball courts. We're talking about resurfacing and replacing the lights that are no longer working. To reconfigure the tennis court will be about $5,000. We'll bring up a motion next month, the December meeting. Resurfacing will be about $18,000, but it probably doesn't need doing for some time. And to replace the lights won't be more than $5,000 to get that done. So and we're going to start having the tennis pro come to the meetings and try to find a way to increase membership for tennis, which is rather lacking over the last years. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Blackwood?
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Ms. Damians?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Giarrusso?
The Safety and Facilities Committee met on November the 4th. We brought up the community center and possibly relocating the administration individuals that are there to save on energy. We also discussed the kitchen floor and have some bids that we're waiting on to bring that to the full board. Besides that, some things were done. We didn't meet for a couple of months due to scheduling issues. The television mount was done in the back of the club, and all the pressure washing got done for the whole back of the club. That gave it a little uplift. Something that we're going to bring up for the next meeting is the possibility of some more ambient lighting out at the back of the club instead of having the bright spotlight going on. But besides that, that's about it.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
I have nothing to add.
Okay, thank you all. Now it's time for the general manager's report, and we've asked Mr. McGinnis to come and give us some information, please.
Good evening. Part of your packet, I started off with the financial report for October. As you note that we did $890,000 in revenue with $947,000 in expenses. That's largely due to a 3 payroll month. For the year, we are at 8.1 million with 7.9 in expenses. So we are $200,000 in net profit. Second item on here is the collection report. So for the month of October, we rung in nearly $12,000. That brings us to a total of $172,000 for the year. And on the marketing report, I would like to point out a few things that we accomplished in October and first part of November. In October, we had the Fall Fest, and it was very successful. Drove a lot of revenue for the club in that time frame that they was hosting it. Also, the Trunk or Treat was very successful as well. We hosted over 450 kids. And also last week, we won the Bud and Burgers competition. It was held in Bay St. Louis, and Chef Ricky and Mickey cooked for that competition. Also, I'd like to report that we have sent out all annual letters and fee schedules, and members are coming in and have started paying for 2025.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you very much. Next item, POA members' comments on agenda items. Do we have anyone signed up?
No one has signed up for that.
Thank you. Okay, time for the regular agenda. We have motion 2425, and it's a motion to replace a dump trailer for golf course and POA grounds maintenance. May I have someone make that motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and a second, please?
I'll second.
Ex officio Becker did. Is there any discussion? Would you like to say something, Trey?
This is a motion. We received a $20,000 rebate from John Deere for signing with them. This motion is specifically for a dump trailer that's needed for $13,273 to help move the material that's needed to and from and around the golf courses. The current dump trailer is it in working order? If it is, it's
not.
barely work, so it's not in working order. So this is going to help save on payroll for individuals. It's a overall good thing for us to have this, to be more efficient and have our crews be more efficient.
Any other comments? Anybody like to say something? Mr. Becker?
Yeah, I'd just like to note that it's not only for the golf course, it's also for all of our grounds maintenance all over the subdivision.
Okay, so it has multi-purpose and broad use.
Right, and the other one was 25 years old and is now beyond repair.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? So I'll call a vote for the motion 2024-25. The motion to replace the dump trailer for golf course and POA grounds maintenance. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Or a hand. All those opposed? The motion passed unanimously. Motion 2024-26 is a motion to spread upon the minutes the authorizations to receive notice of meetings of the board via email. I'm going to go ahead as the president make that motion. Can someone second that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. This is a process that allows us to put into minutes, and typically in minutes you can only put motions, you can't put other addendum items. But this allows us to have within our minutes this consent that we've all been working under. It's not something unusual or unique, but it really covers us should we ever have any questions as to whether we fully agreed on something or not. So by having this on the minutes available for record keeping in the future is an important legal act that this board can take. Those are my comments. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. So I'll call the motion 2024-26 to spread upon the minutes the authorization to receive a notice of the meeting via email. Those in favor, please raise your hand. Those opposed? The motion passed. Thank you. Next item is POA members' comments on non-agenda items. Do we have some?
We have two. Jesse Harwood is first.
Hello.
Hi. I was curious, at the last meeting, I asked if we could schedule a meeting, like an open meeting for residents to share their feelings or ideas or views about the future of our amenities in Diamond Head and what's important to us and maybe what's important to some of the residents who may be out of covenants and don't voluntarily pay. Like, what can we do to gain them back as members? Is there any hope for that, or is there a
This is really not meant to be a discussion
I know
session.
it's not, and
However,
it's just up to you if you would like to answer.
However, the idea is not forgotten, the idea is
Okay.
not lost. It takes time to get us
Sure.
organized, since we're all volunteers and have things to do.
Right.
I think it's something that once we get through the holidays, we
Mhm.
can start addressing. We need to deal with this tax assessor business. We
Okay.
need to plan our future.
Mhm.
We need to be
Well,
organized and get a general manager. So we've
Sure.
got some things on our plate. I
Yeah,
appreciate
and I
your
think,
thoughts.
I think, some of the feelings and ideas that people might have might be about some of those things too. And if you ever need me to help, organize something like that, I'm always willing to help do anything. I think it would be kind of like maybe an olive branch, to some of the people that feel alienated and feel, like they want to give up. And it might open up some communication between, the board now and maybe let the residents get to know you a little bit. I was also wondering, when you talked about the budget, is it published somewhere or
In the paper.
in the paper? Okay, so it'll be when you're probably next month or whenever.
Yes, it's
Um,
always behind.
Okay. And also, I was curious, did you stop posting the minutes on the POA website? I know y'all used to post the board meeting minutes there, and I went back to refer to something, and I didn't see them, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Okay.
It-
Okay.
It's our process to
Um,
post them.
One last thing I wanted to say is that over the weekend, I visited another neighborhood nearby, and when I was driving through the neighborhood, I thought I was going to see this really adorable house. And when I got there, the house was really adorable. But on the way there, everything else I saw was not really adorable. It was a neighborhood who they have a golf course and they have, a clubhouse and a pool and things like that. But they don't have a POA anymore, and they don't have those covenants anymore, and they rely on the city to enforce those rules. And when I got back to Diamond Head, I went, wow, this place is really nice, because we aren't looking at all of those things. And I just want to remind people that if we don't, keep up our POA and support it and, do everything we can to work together, that's the situation we're going to be in. So anybody watching or anybody out there that looks at this, just remember that. And I know that in the past maybe 6 years that I've lived here, and in the research that I've done on the other properties and communities that Purcell also set up kind of the same way as us, I read and kind of researched, where are they now that their 50-year covenants are over? What did they do? Did they just, they did turn into a city? And some of them, they voted to extend their bylaws and their covenants, and they did that whenever the time was. And some of them didn't, and some of them are, privatized golf courses now. And it was very interesting to see, because they were all communities at Purcell, the same exact people, set up. And where are they now?
Thank you. We really need to cut back on your time.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for those thoughts. That's really great that you did all that work. Yeah, I don't think we have one. I was using my watch. I'm sorry.
Next up, Catherine Lewis.
First, I'd like to thank Mr. Dunning for addressing some of the things that I was concerned about as far as recreation. He attended our rec committees. The only thing I really have to say different, and I, hope that we get a chance to talk after, is I think we underestimate what our amenities are. I've been here for 2 years. And in my conversations with people, I'm an avid tennis player and pickleball player, about our dues and paying our dues. When we talk about those specific things, we don't really talk about the place that we live and all of the amenities, whether you're talking about the walking trails or the care of the walking trails or what we visualize or look like. And when I open that dialogue, frequently I will have a conversation with people who do not pay their dues, who at least think a little bit differently. Because I came from a place with no paved road, a beautiful home, lots of land, no Wi-Fi, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, this is my first meeting here. I've been to a city council meeting. I'm a doer. And for me, I think we underestimate when we isolate just pools and tennis, and it's the whole world that I am now living in. And I'm very concerned about it, I must tell you that. So I want to thank you for what you do, and know that there are other people out there like me, and it's engaging that conversation with them, and not just saying it's a pool or it's a golf course, but it's the whole place, and the people that are here and people that take care of it, that make the amenities, the whole world that I now live in. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your cheerleading. That's great. Okay. Our next board meeting will be Monday, December 16th, 6 p.m. here in City Council chambers. We are now going to need a motion to adjourn. We need to adjourn to executive session. May I have that motion?
Make that motion.
Mr. Becker, and seconded by Mr. Blackwood. Thank you all